What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com, creator of the Outright Bar, and partner in the Ambrosia Collective. Check it out, guys. I get this a lot because there's a slight difference, although not much, between people who train naturally and people who train well enhanced or utilizing steroids as a supplement to help them make gains, right? So I'm asked all the time, hey Mark, I'm natural, how should I train? Now, unlike a lot of these kids nowadays who just jump on drugs at like 16, 17, 18 years old, in their 20s, they're at least doing SARMs and this and that. Look, up until the age of 27, I was completely natural. Then I found out I had low testosterone, I got put on TRT, and I've been on TRT since then. In between, you know, I've experimented outside of TRT, so I'm not going to play any of that fake natty games, but I know exactly also through my education, working with thousands of clients through other programs I had, and also with MarcLobliner.com, that I've been able to kind of extrapolate what works best in natural bodybuilders, and also not only working out with and alongside and as a natural bodybuilder, top bodybuilders in the world, but also, you know, also just the studies and research that came out. So the question is, how many days a week should a natural bodybuilder train? And the answer is, well, it depends. For example, if someone has a really hard job, even just mentally, let's say someone's a stressed out college student who has 3 jobs to pay for tuition. Let's say someone is in an extremely high stress job as a corporate executive. Their stress level is really high. Their cortisol is really high. So what that means is that they might not have the training capacity of someone who has a chill job. Let's say someone who works at a toll booth. Someone who just sits there, gives you change, and you're on with your day, right? A high-stress individual. What if someone has children? Children are a pain in the ass. They take a lot of time, and also you might have to miss some training sessions or alter them or adjust them or shorten them because you have to go to activities for your kids. That's another issue. The main issue, though, is genetics. Look, I've met some naturals who can recover better than any guys on drugs I've ever met. I've trained with naturals whose training capacity as well as their ability to recover are better than any steroid users I've ever seen. And they also make gains, and they don't get sore, and they don't get injured. Those are the genetic elite. I've trained with guys such as Kurt Widener, who was a WNBF pro. I'm not sure what organization he's in right now, who literally would train as hard as anybody I've ever seen in my life. This guy was a freak. He is a freak. He's a beast, you know. But then you got guys who are more on the lower end of volume. Like, for example, a guy who now I work with, he's at Europa. He was also my VP at Civation, Rob Moran, WNBF pro. You know, Rob's a guy who used lower volume, still trained really intense, but was able to recover, right? And do what he needed to based on his genetic recovery ability. Another thing is, so how many days a week do you train? Generally speaking, what I find for naturals and also for everybody, looking at broadly speaking for the general population based on taking the majority of you, 4 to 5 days a week is the sweet spot. Naturals can rarely, both time-wise, because you all usually have jobs, and both energy and recovery-wise, train intense more than 4 to 5 days a week. So 6-day splits, 7-day splits, probably not for you. What do you do on those off days? I would not recommend HIIT cardio. HIIT cardio exhausts your system even more. It takes resources. What I'd recommend is lower intensity cardio. Okay, so there's the days. So how do we talk about intensity, right? We talk about drop sets. We talk about rest pause. We talk about forced reps. And those are all things that can be utilized by both enhanced and natural lifters. However, you're looking at what does that exhaust, right? Now, there are studies to show that they basically demonstrate that going to failure doesn't really do much for muscle growth. However, I'm going to take exception to those studies. From what I read, there were some variables that I didn't like. One is we know that progressive overload is pretty much the variable in muscle growth. It's the main variable. There are other variables: volume, frequency, obviously load, progressive overload. So you have all those in there, right? And obviously nutrition. We're not going to talk about that in this video. We'll go over that in another video. We're just going to cover training now. We will do nutrition later. So you have all those variables, right? So when is the right time to do drop sets, to do intensity sets, they call it? Well, the answer is I'd say sparingly. I choose one major exercise or one exercise at most per workout, maybe even per week. So let's say one week you do chest and you get that intensity workout on your chest day. The next week you do that big intensity drop set on another one. But that's for someone who's average. Let's say you have 10 years of training experience. Let's say you've been doing it forever and you've built up the training capacity, right? So that guy might be able to do 2 drop sets 5 days a week. So you got to look at it this way, right? When you start running, let's say I don't run. Would I go out and just run a 5K? Probably not a good idea. I'd go out there, and I've done this before. I've gotten back into running when I was doing obstacle course racing, right? You go out there, you run a quarter of a mile. You run that for a couple days. Then you go up to half a mile. Then you go up to 3/4 of a mile, then a mile. And then you try to increase your time, best your time in the mile. So you don't just jump right in. So there's differences to beginner, intermediate, and advanced lifters. And all the videos I've seen on this, and I've watched a couple from people I really respect, they're doing what we need to do on social media. They're using a one-size-fits-all method, right? I'm gonna try and break it down so you can extrapolate what you need to get this, okay? And then at the end, I'm gonna give you an ideal program for most. I think that's the best way. So you need to look at beginner, intermediate, advanced. You can't just jump right into the water, man. You gotta stick your toe in the water, go slowly in, make sure, and then hit your balls and you gasp. You gotta kind of do that. So we need to be careful not to put everyone in this box, because when everybody starts following the same program, we're not accounting for the genetics. We're not accounting for the training experience. We're not accounting for any of that stuff or the external life stressors. So what's the best intensity? Well, I would say for most, like I said before, 1 to 2 intensity sets per week for those who are genetically gifted per workout would be the best way to do it. So I would really be careful on those, because you will find your recovery. I'm not even worried about your muscular recovery. I'm worried about your nervous system recovery. Look, overtraining is extremely hard, if not impossible to do for us, right? We're not doing anything drastic, or else every landscaper in the world would be overtrained. However, you'll notice when you're overtrained or overreaching is that your reaction time will be shit. You might have a decreased libido. You might have trouble sleeping. You might be sleeping too much. Might have trouble waking up. There's a lot of weird things. Loss of appetite, increased appetite. There's a plethora of things that can happen when you are overreaching, overworking. I'm not going to say overtraining. That's a trigger word, but I'm going to go with that. So again, those are some variables involved. As for exercise selection, I wrote a program called the Big Five. If you type in, if I forget to link this, that's fine. If you type in Big Five Lobliner on YouTube, you'll note, or Big Five Lobliner on Google, it's not a video, you'll notice I had a training program. The reason I like that training program is that it utilizes all of the 5 basic lifts for each body part. The basic compound lifts, the Big Five. In powerlifting, there's the Big 3. Bench press, deadlift, squat. What I did is I added 2 more that aren't powerlifting lifts that I think also help. The pendlay row or the barbell row, okay? As well as the standing shoulder press, because when you lift weight over your head, extremely engaging on the core, it works every part of your body. So what I do is I do that in a 5-day split. I do believe the Big Five training program might be, because it's lower volume with not that many intensity sets, unless you want to throw them in yourself, that hits every single body part. You're in and out of the gym in 45 minutes and you're good to go. So I think, without just saying go read my article, I think I did a pretty damn good job writing that out. Because realize, like, well, Mark, all these bodybuilders on steroids. No, they're not. No, they're not. I go to events. I visited over 30 vitamin shops in the last 3 weeks. I've met every kind of consumer. I've been to trade shows, the LA Fit Expo. Dude, none of my viewers are steroid users. Very little, maybe 1%. So everything I do is based on naturals. And if enhanced lifters want to get crazy with it, we have another video coming for that. So you need to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. So if you are a steroid using cheater, just kidding, you'll get your program too. So let's take all this together. What would I do other than just saying, hey, do my Big Five program, which I'm not going to do because there's other ways. Let's make it more broad. I would do a 4 to 6 day a week training split. 4 to 5 days a week I would train. How do you train? You have upper lower split. You have push, pull, leg split. You have a full body split. You have a bro split. What do you do? What are you going to do with that? The bottom line is it doesn't matter. If you're doing a full body split and you hit 20 sets a week, it'll be just as good as or equal to doing a bro split hitting 20 sets a week. It's all about total volume per body part. So whether you do that over 5 days or you do that over 1 day, as long as the volume's the same, that's fine. I don't think split matters at all. I don't think it matters. What I think matters is volume. So if you are doing, let's say you do full body and you do 2 sets of chest 5 days a week, that's 10 sets of chest, right? But if you do, let's say, a bro split, you do chest day, 1 day, and you do 10 sets, I think that will be equal to or very similar to the results you will get from doing it in full body. Push-pull legs, same thing. For most naturals, I find, at least for me, my personal experience, I prefer bro splits, mainly due to psychological. Nothing is more psychologically motivating than doing chest, being on that 8th set, that 9th set, and the pump kicks in and the chest is pumped and you feel so invigorated, right? Nothing feels better than going and doing squats, getting down there, and you go into leg press, your legs are just pumped and tired and swollen out. Nothing feels better than that. When I did full body training, I did it for over a year of my life. Which is nothing considering I've been training for 26 years. When I did full body training, I absolutely despised it because you do like 3 sets of squats. That's literally like if a girl teases you, right? Like that's the biggest cock tease ever. You're getting there, you're getting pumped, the blood flowing, and then she leaves. And then you can't even masturbate. Your hands are tied behind your back. Like, what are you gonna do? That is what full body training is to me. I like to finish that muscle. I like to finish that workout. I like to have a finalization. I'm like, well, I gotta come back and do it tomorrow. No, I like to have the money shot. I want it all over her hair. You know what I mean? I want it so fucking bad. When I start feeling that pump, I want to just fucking attack it. So for me, mentally, I prefer doing that. However, some people, especially those of you who've been overweight, mentally, full body is great because you feel like you trained everything. So what it comes down to is not science. Volume is volume. And however many days you get that over, it's fine as long as it's equal. What it comes down to is preference. I like the bro split, right? I've tried everything. I fucking love it. 26 years of lifting, I always go back to bro. However, a lot of you natties will be like, oh, full body, full body. That's fine. Psychologically, I fucking hate it. Bottom line is, if you don't like something, you're not gonna fucking do it. Main thing beyond all of this bullshit we're talking about optimization. Let's look at, you need something to optimize before you optimize it, right? So if you're not training, by the way, this is a planta mixed with a banana, blueberries, cup of oats, almond milk. It's really fucking good. Peanut butter banana planta. So if you're not going to the gym, this means fuck all, right? Bottom line is adherence. Look, dude, CrossFit could be the best fucking workout in the world for muscle growth, right? Like CrossFit's fucking great. I hate CrossFit. If I'm not gonna do it, does it even fucking matter? Dude, if you don't like bodybuilding, don't do it. Do P90X. Do something. Do ballet. I don't give a fuck. Just do something. But if you're looking at optimizing your natural bodybuilding for hypertrophy, I highly recommend you do those things. So, let's take average Joe. What should I do? Well, make sure you do the big lifts at least 3 days a week. Make sure you do squats, deadlifts, overhead press, Pendlay rows, and chest press. One of those, whether you do that in one workout as a full body and then alternate with some machines here and there, or whether you do it as a bro split, where you do all 5 days. Let's say you can only train 3 days a week. That's great. There's a push-pull leg split that works really well. You can do upper, lower, upper, and then start with lower the next week. You can do that. Bottom line is there's a lot of programs out there written by a lot of smart people that'll help you. John Meadows' program, guess what? They work pretty well for naturals. Every program does. Here's the deal. There's no like natty and not natty training program. What you should do is basically go in and start with, let's say it's your first time training ever, or it's a new split. You know, take that workout that's prescribed and cut it by half or 0.75, right? So if it calls for 4 sets of chest, do 3. If it calls for 10 sets of legs, do 8, do 6. Start out, you know what I mean? Like foreplay. Hold hands before you kiss, right? So get in there and try it out. And if you're recovering well, increase the volume. If you're recovering well, increase the intensity. If you're recovering well, maybe you could take that 3-day split and go to a 4-day split. If you're recovering well, you go to 5 days. I wouldn't really go over 5 days. And even if you have the time, let's say you're just living with your parents and you're a Bernie Sanders voter, at the end of the day, all you need to do, take those 2 days and do something else. Psychologically, get out of the gym. If you really like being in the gym, shit, go do some cardio. Go punch the heavy bag. Do something other than those weight training for those 2 days. I do believe, especially in naturals, your protein turnover isn't as great, protein synthesis, that maybe that'll benefit you. Give you time to heal. Little micro traumas. Because remember, I like the whole, you grow when you rest. Well, then why not just rest all the fucking time? Question is, how long do we need to rest? We haven't clearly defined that. We could train when we're sore. The body's pretty fucking adaptive. So the answer is, we don't really know. It depends on the individual. Like I said, I know a lot of people could train much harder and longer than me. However, I usually can train a lot harder and longer than anybody else I know. But there's those freaks out there who are just like Kai Green, absolute freak. Even if he was natural, he'd run circles around me. So the bottom line is, as a natural athlete, pay attention to your body. But don't be afraid to throw in intensity sets. However, if you find that you're sitting around the office the next day, you can't think, it's time to cut down the volume, all right? That's my opinion. So basically, it sounds pretty cliche. Pay attention to how your body feels. If it's giving you negative feedback, adjust. If it's giving you positive feedback, push a little harder, push a little longer, and see where you can take it. And again, don't be afraid to try shit. Let's say you do the bro split. Don't be afraid to try full body. Don't be afraid to try upper, lower, upper. Don't be afraid to try that stuff. Experiment, enjoy. That's not a game. Let's talk about my coaching. Yes, I offer coaching. Diet, training, supplementation. I offer it all. My coaching, as you can find out about on marclobliner.com, covers everything. In fact, I believe I'm one of the only coaches or the only coach who offers and actually demands daily check-ins, because you need daily check-ins to get optimal results. Let me tell you this, if you're looking to get the body of your dreams, if you're looking to get healthier, if you're looking to get ready for a show, if you're trying to reverse diet, whatever it is, I have the experience and knowledge to help you reach your goals. To find out more about my coaching services, see www.marclobliner.com. The Outright Bar was created for my kids. My kids need a snack to eat during soccer tournaments, and also I wanted a bar for myself to eat pre-workout, post-workout, and also throughout the day. You want your Outright Bars right now. That's why we have a partnership going with the Vitamin Shop to make sure that we're in all 750 plus locations, providing the best price, the best service, the best people to give you the Outright Bar when and where you need it. Whoever you are, whatever you do, the Outright Bar is perfect for you. Containing 14 to 20 grams of high quality protein, mainly from whey protein isolate. Containing healthy fats from peanut butter and carbohydrate from the superfood honey. The Outright Bar is perfect no matter who you are. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look who I ran into in LA.
Good to meet you. I've been watching your videos a long time. Tell me about this protein bar.
So it's the Outright Bar, man. It's all natural ingredients, made with real food. None of that. You ever want to work out? You want just a little snack, a little bar before training, but you know the other bars might give you gut bomb.
Right.
This is something that doesn't have any prebiotic fiber, no glycerin, no sugar alcohols. It's whole, real food.
That is a tasty bar.
Really?
It's easy to eat. It's not too chewy. Normally eat something like this with a big ass glass of milk. That's good.
So it's like a cookie.
Really good. No, it's not good.
If you want, we also have the, want to try the almond butter one while we're here?
Love to.
All right, so this
That's a badass bar.
This is made with almond butter, Steve.
That's a winner too.
Really?
He's badass. Good protein bars. Where can people find these?
Well, they can find it at any retail stores. You can find it at tigerfitness.com.
2 badass protein bars. So they get 2 double middle fingers up from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.